Once again, it's another awesome moment on the Noble Woman Show. As you know, we bring you interviews from amazing women who share their stories with you to inspire you. Today's guest is joining us all the way from Germany, and she's going to share a lot with us on the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. This is still the Noble Woman Show. My name is Gabriela. Today on the show, we'll be talking to an international trade expert. She's doing a lot in what she does. She's from Kenya, but she's based in Germany. The CEO for African Women in Europe. Today we're talking to Joy. Joy, welcome to the Noble Woman Show.
Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be with great-minded women doing great work. Thank you.
Okay, Joy, tell us a little bit about yourself, something brief about yourself. Who is Joy and what do you do?
Oh, yes, that's a very good question. Yes, who is Joy? Yes, my name is, as you heard, Joy ZENZ, and I'm also called Joy Wanjiru Machugo ZENZ, and I am based in Germany. Born in Kenya, raised in Kenya, and living at the moment in Germany. And who am I in general? I'm a mother as well of two lovely boys, and I'm very passionate about women in Africa. Women, and my area of specialty is women. So I've been in Germany working with women, which at the moment that's the one is called African Women in Europe, for 15 years, a network of women who are ready to move and work together, empower each other. As you know, some of you who are on the ground in the continent, you might think we're coming to Europe is honey and you have all this money falling from the tree. No, we have a lot of hurdles when we come in here. You lose your identity, lose your vision sometimes and your passion, and end up doing the jobs that you were not really meant for, although you are very educated and you come here. So our work is to make sure that women, when we come together, we really make sure that they're in the right network, because it's so important when they come to Europe, you be in the right groups, where they will tell you how you can even move to the next level and the hurdles, and also getting to know the language and giving you tips of how to move forward. So African Women in Europe moved even beyond that, and we rediscovered women do a lot of work. So we even have awards and we have events. We even have written a book to give the experience, and it's called African Women in Europe book. You can get this as well as in Kenya. You can order it on Amazon, or even reach out to us. We can send to you, because it's so important for people to understand the journeys of African women. We have written our stories ourselves, the way it was, and how we managed to move to next levels, and to also give the higher picture. We also have moved one step further. We decided now we know each other, we have empowered. Some of us have really done very well here in Europe, as I said, through awards. How can we now go back home and do a productive and give back to the community back at home? So we started different projects. So I started where I come from Kenya, and we have right now as we speak, we are just about to launch the Awe Diaspora SACCOs, Savings and Credit Cooperative Bank, where women are now putting money collectively together to invest in entrepreneur. As you know, the remittance, sending money at home, is quite big, and how do we do it? So for us in Africa, we know we send money. It's a big hole that absorbs all the money, but where does this money go to? But how can we channel it the right way? So this is a great opportunity. The Kenya government gave us this opportunity to also involve the diaspora. And that's where I come in as a diaspora. How do we come in? And recently, 3 weeks ago, it's such an amazing to know about I've been researching other ways apart from Kenya. How can we support other countries? So we discovered about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and I was so passionate about that. I said, wow, this is a vehicle, and it's the way we're going to move the agenda forward for the Africa continent, and especially now even it's involved women, how perfect that. So we African women started African Women in Trade to make sure that we are able to bring the women together to start trading among each other. So the African Women in Concept brought all that together. So yeah, it's a big story that who I am, and I also, as I said, there's quite a lot on the platform.
Okay. You're a businesswoman and you've taken a lot of risk in business. What is one of the greatest business risks that you've ever taken?
Working with the African market. Especially being in Europe, it's a challenge. Having started the organization, as I told you, we are also a profit-making organization, the African Women in Europe. We have been mobilizing with it, a social business. And I remember when I started, I was told starting Africa business is a difficult market. How are you going to manage it? I said, no, it can't be. I'm going to go with the pace. I'm going to work with the women and really making sure that we are able to support each other in businesses. So yes, it has been it's one of the challenge, taking up the emerging markets especially, and that's one of the areas that I have to say, because I'm more in the social business where I deal with women. But I have to say, working together has been our strength, doing business with people who have the same mindset, with the development of economy and creating wealth as well. And I'm also involved with a lot of projects in Africa as well, in the finance industry, encouraging the diaspora to invest in government bonds where they're using for infrastructure. So these are the areas that I also encourage when we do together, and is the area that I think when we partner together on the ground, and the diaspora, the business concept will become much easier to work with. A part of thinking like African market are difficult markets. Yeah.
Okay. You have been in Europe for quite some time now, and you're doing your own thing, and you're being successful, or you have achieved success by doing everything that you're doing in Europe. Can you share something brief about your success story with us?
If I got the question, if the success stories with the women?
The women, or your impact, some of the impacts that you have made in Europe as a woman, not only with African women in Europe, but as a personality, yourself. What are some of the impacts that you have made in Europe as an African woman?
Yes, the impact that, yes, as a woman in Europe, I preach Africa. That's the most important thing, because I'm an African wherever I go. The impact that I've brought in is also bring awareness what our continent has to offer in Europe, and the mindset for the European people, how they think about Africa, is a very important thing for me. As a person, I've been really pushing this forward, even in my working area. I've been working in a pharmaceutical company as well, and I tell them, whatever you do, we also represent our continent, and I'm very preaching out about that, the emphasis of it. And I also, the way I move and the way I do my things as well is very African. And apart from that, also encouraging women to do businesses in Africa. As I said, right now, we have been encouraging them to enter into the export and import, where they market our African products here, which is really difficult, especially in Europe, knowing that some of these supply chain are already blocked for the African women to do business in terms of if I want to cook African food in my house, where do I get the food? Instead of going to a Chinese restaurant, how can I go to an African restaurant and an African shop and support an African business person doing business? So this is the area that I am working on very hard, making my members and the women to be aware how their activities impact also the continent, even if you're not in the continent. There are ways that we can support it. And our members have some of these products. And like I do, I support all my oils I buy from a Nigerian lady who buys these oils from Nigeria and makes all great products.
An African woman who is based in Europe, you're not in your home, you're not in your country, you're not home, but you are based in another country doing your thing. You have been there for some time and you're doing stuff. Would you say that there are opportunities out there for the African woman outside here in Africa? Are there opportunities out there for African women to explore and to do better?
In Europe?
Yes.
Of course there are, but I have to say, and there are even much more in the continent itself. And this is where I'm coming in, changing our mindset. As I told you before, coming to Europe is not the way you think it's going to be. Knowing that it's a good platform for education, but implementation of the job is on the country. And I'm really happy for Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is showing that we can do quite a lot in the continent. Myself, I'm also be moving back to Africa as well, because I think my impact is much more in the continent. And some of these the areas of businesses have not been trapped. As I've been said in our platform, the African Women in Trade, I'm seeing women sending rice from Germany, from Kenya to Nigeria, or shea butter from Ghana all the way to South Africa. And I'm seeing women even in mining industry. There is quite a lot in the continent, and this is what I am campaigning for, women to really look what are the opportunities around you. And you'll not even imagine some of the people come on the platform and they find each other in the same area. They were all schoolmates or work or doing business together, and they didn't realize they are very close to each other. And businesses is the way to build economy. It's also the way to build wealth. So my encouragement is for more African women to really take control of the continent of the Africa and expand beyond the country they are in, Ghana, and start selling products to Kenya, and Kenya start selling products to Ghana, and the other way around to South Africa. That's where the business is, and I'm telling you right now in Europe, if I'm talking about the banking system, the interest rate here, if you put the money in the bank, there is nothing, it's zero. Or minus, you get charged to put money in your account. And you look in the Africa continent, the interest rates are very high, 15, 20, 50, you name it. I'm not saying it's not an advantage for the people themselves, but this is a way to show you Africa is a place to be in the next 20 years. I would not encourage anyone to think other way. And I'm telling you, all of us, we are coming back to the continent because that's where the opportunities are.
Okay. Viewers, we're still talking to Joy on the Noble Woman Show, and she's still sharing a lot with us about the African woman, about opportunities in Europe, and a whole lot on the show. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned.
Are you planning a trip, or you're going for a holiday with a lot of destinations all over the world? Just decide on where you want to go, and see Ryan Travels will take you there. We offer UAE visa, air ticketing, tour packages, hotel reservations, corporate travels, and many more. You can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091 or 0302 408067. You can email cryanTravels at c.ryantravels@gmail.com. Ryan Travels. You pack, we plan.
Welcome back from the break. This is still the Noble Woman Show. The show is proudly brought to you by Ryan Travels and Ryan Car Rentals. If you are traveling and you need anything in regards to visa, ticketing, and whatever you need with regards to traveling, you can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091, 0264 623 091. If you want a car to rent for any occasion, also you still call Ryan Car Rentals on 0264 623 091. My hair was styled by Lizzie Beauty Center. You can call Lizzie Beauty Center for home service, or you can locate them at Mataheko opposite 1+1. You can call her through the number on your screen if you need help for home service. We are still talking to Joy ZENZ, joining us all the way from Germany on the show. Joy, let's get a little bit personal. You're a woman doing a lot, and definitely you have a personal life. You have something that you've been through, that you've been able to come out of strong and fit now as a woman. Share something with us on the show.
Yes, yes, of course. Thank you so for asking me that, because some people think like we all started up here. Yes, I do have a personal stories of course, which makes the person who I am today, and it's something also related to what I do today, because my personal story it brought me to do what I'm doing today, and it's all about coming to Europe. Married, that was almost I've been in Europe over 20 years now, and my first time coming to Europe, you can imagine with coming up from an English-speaking country, the language was really difficult, and you're coming to Germany as well. So for me, that was it's a story that I can relate to very well, because what it did, it made me think beyond, because when I come here in Europe and you're finding yourself, okay, you're a minority as well, your family members, your families are all mixed children, and the culture, you have the racism going on in the country, which I also face, and I still face until today, but these situations that I say that are there in the country, or where you are as any foreigner or a minority, it's something that made me actually stronger to look at how would I survive that, bringing up my children in a country where they're told, oh, they're this and that. So how would I manage that? And through my own experiences with other women telling me how they were, and trying to find out how do you survive in this kind of world. And when I came in, I was in my mid-20s. So you can imagine I'm thinking I want to grow, I want to what about I had in Europe, I want to be this, I want to be that, and I realized, oh, first of all, I was newly married, then I got pregnant, so of course marriage.
Did you marry a white, or you married an African?
I mean, if I married a German man,
Yes.
I married a German man. We met in Kenya and married in Kenya. And due to work, we had to move back to Germany.
Okay, so you are in Germany because of marriage. That's how you entered Germany.
Yes. That's how I ended in Germany. And the whole idea was actually, meeting a good young man, giving you the attention, and you need the African men, of course. You have a long way to go with that one. Especially in Kenya, I'm not talking the whole Africa, sorry. But yes, of course, I fell for it, and the whole idea was to stay in Africa, because I met him for over 2-3 years, and he was already in Africa for over 8 years. So our idea was to stay in Africa, but of course, under contracts of Europe, we had to move to Germany, which was never my intention anyway, because I was here and I didn't like it. But we had to come because of course you're married and you go with your husband wherever they go. So we came in here. So, but as I told you, I've been brought up in a Christian family. So my father is a Reverend Samuel Mashogo, who is very known in our church community in Kenya. And if you know how it is with a pastor's daughter, a family, you move from one city to another one. So I was already used from moving from Nairobi, from the city center to the village and all that. So for me, moving to Europe was quite easy on that. So
let me come to your husband, Joy.
Interesting.
Joy, let's talk a bit about your husband. When you were getting married to your husband as a white man, how did his people take it? Were they okay with the fact that he's going to marry an African woman?
In the country, in Kenya, I don't think this is a big issue like some of the Western African countries.
No. How did his people, not your people, how did his people take it? Were they comfortable with the fact that he was going to marry an African woman?
The culture here in Europe is different from our culture back at home. What I mean by that is that they respect your wishes. So whatever you do, that's something I see a lot here. They really support your decision you make. So I was accepted the way I came in here. I was very much accepted because I told you I came here even before marriage, and our wedding was in Kenya, and they all came to Kenya. So I wouldn't say there was any negativity. They were all very positive in the family because it was a build-on relationship, if that's what the question is about.
Okay, so continue your story. I'm listening.
I forgot where I stopped it from. So anyway, yeah. So that was my story about coming to Germany, and from love I came here, and I still like the country. I have two boys now, very handsome boys, of course, and they are all grown up. One is 18, another one is 14. And yes, it has been a journey. And of course, as the life goes on, things go up and down in life. And right now, I'm a single mom. That's another thing that we also go through.
Well, are you divorced or your husband?
Also,
are you divorced?
I'm explaining that. I'm explaining that as I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
Right? Let me, yeah. So I am a single mom right now because it never worked out as well. Because of our differences in culture or whatever it is. So right now I have two boys, very happy single mom, and looking forward to the future, what it has to bring.
Okay. With the issue of racism in Europe as an African and a woman, how did you handle it? How were you able to handle it? How did you go about it?
It was tough. It was tough, especially if it was me alone, it was okay. And I didn't know about racism. You only hear it on the TV if you're in Africa. But when you face it, it's quite difficult. And especially to explain, to also it affecting your children is also a big thing. So for me, I actually took time to understand what it is. How, first of all, to understand how are the others coping with it, to see whether was it just me seeing it too much or maybe too naive or something. But it is there, but it's how you handle it. So I handle racism with a lot of professionalism. So I go wherever I go, and if I'm confronted with racism, I deal with it very professional, and even avoiding places where you think that you're going to be put on the spot. Because don't forget, you're a minority. It's just like the European people as well. And we had this discussion in the family with my ex-husband, as I said. He also says he has also racism back in Kenya, because everywhere he goes, the prices go up. And some places he's even told off because he's a white person. So for me, I looked at it as I'm one in so many. How would you, in any culture, even in languages, in our tribes, if one tribe is more than the other one, one person will always be, it sort of feels like tribalism, the racism. That's how I look at it, because I never look at it as something to oppress me, but it's me who is in their territories. Maybe I should be going back to where my people are.
Okay. When you went to Europe again because you were married, and when your marriage didn't go well, or when your marriage didn't work out, didn't you ever think of coming back home, or why did you decide to stay? Because you said you went there because of marriage. Yes, so why didn't you come back home?
I wanted to come back. I wanted to come back immediately. I was like, oh, good riddance. Like, get out of this country and go back to my country. It would be nice if it was that simple, I tell you. I would have been the first person to back. As I told you, I had my baggage, my two boys, right? And I did check the options that are there. I checked about the education system, how I'm going to manage. Don't forget, I was working home. Lifestyle here is not like in Africa where you have maids and everything else. We had agreed I stayed at home and take care of the children, because whatever I'll be earning, I'll be paying a babysitter. That's the way it is here in Europe. So that time was raising the children, and I'm a very Christian-minded person. There's time for everything, and trust me, I have nothing to regret until today. So the children, I weighed, what does that mean going back to Africa? Meaning education here is free. They don't speak so good English. So it's like also ruining my kids as well as bringing myself life back. So until today, so we made a deal with my boys that I'll be there for them, and I promised them, and I'm still there with them, and I'm so happy. One just turned 18, and that one is turning 18 very soon, and then I'm free to come to Africa.
Okay. Okay, Joy, thank you so much for coming on the show. But before you leave the show, what will be your last words on the show?
The last words there is for the women there and men as well. I know people think Europe is heaven. It's a lot of opportunities. It's true, we have a lot of opportunities here. And I encourage everybody who sees the opportunity to grab the opportunities when they can. But if you really want to enjoy a quality life back, it's at home is where the best place to be is there. If you can use that skills and opportunities you get, especially when you're learning the skills, because most of us believe very much concentrating with the education part, which misses the skills part. So if you can have a chance to come here and get skills and go back home and use it, best practice ever. But other options, they're quite difficult. You will face a lot of difficulties, especially quality of life. So it's something that you need to work on, and really believe in yourself, believe who you are, and you can really manage quite a lot with the time you have.
It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Okay. It's been an awesome time here today with Joy ZENZ from Kenya, joining us all the way from Germany. She's from Kenya, but she's based in Germany, and she's doing a lot of work there in Europe, impacting the lives of women. I hope you were inspired with her story, because I was. The show was brought to you by C. Ryan Travels, C. Ryan Car Rentals. My hair was styled by Lizzie Beauty Center, and of course, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for following us throughout these episodes on the Noble Woman Show. You can also follow my Facebook page on the Noble Woman Show by just looking for the Noble Woman Show. You follow me on Instagram, Gabriela Lafak, YouTube, the Noble Woman Show, and you can also watch the show on www.thenoblewomanshow.online. I thank you so much for your time today. See you same time next week. Bye bye.
Boop.